Exhaustion is the normal state of a professional sailor at sea. I sat in the wardroom staring at the blue naga hide table cover, calculating how much sleep I might get after sonar training. My division was shuffling in one at a time with notebooks in hand. I had a standing rule that every sonarman will attend every training with their training notebook. I expected them to pay attention and take notes. "It's 9. Why hasn't training started yet?" I directed my question to Petty Officer Owen, the division leading petty officer. Before he could answer, the last of our sonarmen filed in. The smokers, I noticed. "You're late. You owe me time." I directed my gaze at the young sonarman. "Let's get started." I finished the conversation. I wasn't in the mood for excuses or apologies. I drank my coffee slowly during the hour-long lecture on fronts and eddies. I paid close attention to the division while mentally checking off the list of bullet points I wanted training to cover. How to search through a front, how to eliminate shadow zones, how to search a cold eddy, etc., things like that. "Stand up," I commanded. Sleepy, nodding heads jerked up. The sonarman who knew I was talking to got out of his chair. Standing during training was not a disciplinary measure as much as it was a tool to help the sailor stay awake during training. I was as tired as they were. We all had to get through this. Training continued. How to detect a front. How eddies interact with fronts. How eddies are created from fronts. I felt a vibration in my seat. The submarine was shaking. Denial was my first thought. I was like, did I just feel that? I looked down at my coffee. Rings were moving across the surface of the black liquid, the natural response of liquid when it had been disturbed. I reached back behind me to the sound-powered growler phone. This station was a station voice communication device that linked 20 different locations around the boat. The operator would simply dial the station he wanted. I set the dial to number 4, Sonar. "Line clear?" I spoke into the line. If anyone was on the line, they would get a nasty wake-up growl if they were on. No answer. The line was clear. I spun the L-shaped handle twice, causing a chirp-chirp sound in Sonar. The Sonar supervisor picked up and said, "Sonar." "What just happened?" I asked. "What do you mean?" he replied. "The boat just shook. What happened?" I was very careful with my words. Suggesting or saying the word collision was not appropriate over an open line. I didn't know who else was listening. The weapons officer who was in training with us was on the JA with the officer of the deck. Asking the same questions, and with a nod, I excused myself from training and made my way up to the sonar shack. Knocking first, as expected from all crew members entering Sonar, I let myself in. "Good morning, Soup," I said, knowing very well the open mic was recording every spoken word in Sonar. He looked up at me. "What's going on?" he asked. "Did you feel something a minute ago? Did you feel the boat vibrate?" I was not accusing him, but I was shocked that he didn't know what I was talking about. He just said no. The first thing I checked was the Sonar display history. We save over 40 minutes of real-time data on the display. There was nothing obvious there. A transient from own ship would be obvious in the data history, and it was empty. I moved to the self-noise monitoring station and put on the headphones. This station had multiple hydrophones and accelerometers selected from all parts of the boat. Patiently, I listened to every one to ensure we weren't making any noise. My main concern was that we might have hit a trawler net. Deep sea nets have metal hooks that sound like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. I heard no chimes. I reviewed the Sonar paper logs to see if the log keeper had made a note. There was no mention of any event in the past few hours. The closest contact was a transatlantic merchant steaming away at 30,000 yards. It was as if nothing happened. Maybe it was nothing. Submarines are enormous masses weighing thousands of tons. It takes a lot of energy to move one. It takes more energy to shake one enough to create rings in my mug of coffee on the wardroom table. There are things in our ocean man has never seen nor recorded on sonar systems, but they watch us traverse their seas. Some of them are curious, some of them are meddlesome. Sometimes they reach out and remind us we're not alone.